Department concentration videos have concluded, and we're going to now transition into the Career and Advising component of Admin 1500. This week, we're going to be discussing advising, which will cover the pause report, MyCap, and discussion of roadmaps. Earlier in this semester, we talked about resources and how they can benefit your success at CSUSB and your career. These resources for advising, the pause, MyCap, and roadmaps, will help guide you in preparing your semester schedule. First, let's talk about pause reports. This information that you're going to be hearing today is also what you should have learned during orientation. So I trust that it is just a refresher, but nonetheless, we're going to discuss it anyways. Registration for spring semester begins early November on the 2nd. So it's important that you understand these resources available to you and how to interpret them when registering for courses. It's timely. You want to stay on track. So let's take a look. I'm going to share my screen and show you the pause report and talk about some key components. Now, when you're running your pause report, what you want to do is you go to the Student Center. You should see a tile for advising or pause, and then you're going to click Run Report. Mine looks a little bit different, so I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen and enter an ID, and then we'll talk about the pause. I'm going to enter my ID, hit submit. And then I'd already run a report, so I'm going to go to Manage. You will just click View Audit. I ran it as if Josephine Coyote was an accounting student. So you click View Audit and it opens the report. At the top of the pause report, you'll see the degrees in administration. So everyone that's an administration major will show here, and then the concentration that's currently selected. On the far right, you'll see your catalog year is fall 2020. If you decide to change your concentration, let's say from accounting to management, that should not change your catalog year because the degree itself is still administration. Next, looking at the pie chart, this is a snapshot of your degree progression at CSUSB. You'll see here this pie chart tells you if you hover over it, it says you have 89 units unfulfilled and 31 units complete. So for this particular example, Josephine Coyote has more units unfulfilled than fulfilled. Remember, it's 120 units to get to the degree completion. Down here, and this is the legend. So this green area shows you your completed units again. So 31 complete, the red is unfulfilled, and then blue is in progress. So if you each were to run your reports and scroll, you'll see the classes you're currently enrolled in are in blue. So that means they're currently in progress, okay? The plan we'll talk about in a little while, that goes on your MyCap. So what you want to do is the way the pause report works is here's a legend here, not really a need to know all of that information, but it's a good reference if for some reason you don't understand something on your pause report. So everyone's general education will look the same. It begins with university foundations, and you'll see over here on the left, this identifies the entire category. So if you quickly look and you see a red box with a white X in the middle, that means you know there's something in this category that has not yet been fulfilled. Your goal at CSUSB is to turn all of these red boxes into green boxes with a white check mark in the middle. There's an example of some of those as we scroll down. So you'll see here, if there's a deficiency, it'll tell you exactly how many courses you need. So in looking here, I'm just going to highlight this. It says needs one course, and it'll tell you from what to select. Now, unless you're an honor student, really your only choice is COM 1006. So if you're currently enrolled in it, this box should be blue, and then it should say RG, and it'll have the class for which you're enrolled, which will be COM 1006. If you actually click on the box, it'll give you a description of the class. So you'll know a little bit more about it. Click off the box and it takes you back to the pause report. So again, as you progress through the general education, you want to turn all of these red boxes into green boxes like this one here. You'll see Josephine Coyote took Math 110, which is now processed as Math 113. So you'll see here with this green box that math had been completed. In the middle, you'll see the units earned and the grade earned. So again, each semester you want to draw some general education courses. Now, you don't have to go in this exact order. Feel free to mix and match. You could pull something from foundations. So let's say you take CNEAS 205 or Admin 1001, and then you take government, but then you want to decide to come down here into arts and humanities and take one of these courses. That's okay. The key is to just taking something from one of those categories each quarter or each semester, each term. And then as you scroll down, you'll see some of these courses, it'll say upper division general education. Now, unless you're a junior or senior, these courses are not open to you. If you are a junior or senior and these areas are deficient, feel free to begin intertwining them into your schedule. Balance your schedule out. The general education, arts and humanities area, or the 3000 level general education tend to be a little bit lighter. So if you have a tougher schedule, it's nice to use them to balance your curriculum out, your classes. So each semester, again, draw from your GE, pull a class with a red X, and then you want to scroll down. If you continue down, you'll see that it then flows into your from your general education into your major. So you'll see you have a lot here to take. So now beginning here, you'll see this is administration, accounting, concentration. So this is where your major requirements begin. Lower division area is where most of you will want to begin. Admin 1500 for you will say in progress because you're all currently registered. Again, as noted above, it tells you how many courses you need and from which to select. So because there's only 2 courses here, you need both of these classes. IST 110 is Introduction to Information Technology, and it is 1 unit. Gives you the course description. That way you can get a little bit of an idea of what the class is about. So here's where I recommend you start building from each semester, along with the general education. For those interested in accounting as a concentration, you might want to consider taking Introductory Accounting 1. Here's the description. It's a prerequisite into accounting concentration, but as you'll see, it's also a lower division core requirement for all administration majors. For those interested in supply chain transportation management or business analytics, this is your lower division statistics class. Again, it gives you a description, but it's a good insight into the curriculum and material covered in the supply chain and analytics concentrations. If you have not yet had Math 1301, although it's been completed here by Josephine Coyote, Math 1301 is a requirement by everybody as well. It also counts for general education. So when you enroll in 1301, you'll see it'll count here, and it will also count, if we scroll back up, it'll also count in the general education area. Let me scroll just a little bit more. And it'll count here. So you can see Josephine enrolled, and it counts here, and it counts in the major. Okay, so you have to take classes in here, micro, macro. Now you'll notice if you click on 2120 for accounting, you'll see its prerequisite is 2110 accounting. So you cannot take the second accounting without the first accounting. But here you will see micro and macroeconomics are listed. 2202 does not require 2201 as a prerequisite. So you actually could take macro before you take micro. I do not recommend, though, taking them both in the same semester. It's a lot of econ to take at once. So diversify them a little bit. Again, the key is to completing them. At some point, they need to be done. Because they're 1,000 and 2,000 level courses, it's ideal that the lower division core are completed by the end of your sophomore year. So you should be taking a minimum of 2 of them each semester. That will have them completed by the end of your sophomore year. The upper division core is displayed here, and you'll notice that there are at least 3,000 level courses. There's a 4,000 level course here, which is your capstone and should be taken after all of this upper division core area has been met. So again, as long as you know you want to be an administration major, all of these courses will be required. They each are a prerequisite into the concentration. So for example, Marketing 3050 should be taken junior year. As a marketing student, you might want to take it earlier than later because it's a prerequisite into the marketing concentration. So lower division core, upper division core, then you have your concentration, which are listed here. This is accounting, so all 6 of these courses are required to fulfill the concentration. If you recall on the videos, when they reviewed course requirements or concentration requirements, many of them said 6 classes or 18 units, and that's these courses here that are displayed. That's what they were talking about. Now, Josephine Coyote has a minor here, which I'm not going to cover, but if you do declare one, it'll be displayed at the bottom of your concentration, down below everything else. And it'll tell you, similarly to the major, what courses you need to fulfill that area. Okay, now, I hope that helped, but let's talk about planning. What you want to do next is you can create an online plan called a MyCap. And if you'll see, it's right here next to your PAWS report. If you click on MyCap, it'll take you over to the planning component. Now, you'll see here that Josephine was a BS Healthcare Management major, but I want to create a MyCap as an accounting student. And that looks like there's already one here for accounting for Josephine. Now, before I progress into that, I do want to talk about these stars on the left-hand side. You'll see that this one here is 2018 test. Honestly, you really should only have probably 1 or 2 MyCaps. The START is the preferred. That should be the plan you want to follow each term to graduate. Give it a name, graduation plan, accounting plan, JHBC major, something of that nature. If you're considering another major, you can say test plan for, and then name the major. But remember, the preferred is the one you should be referring to each semester. Because I'm looking at Josephine as an accounting concentration, I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. This will let us edit the MyCap. Again, the MyCap is an electronic planner, and it lets you drag and drop classes each semester so you know how to plan. So hopefully this will load here real quick. And then what you want to do is once it loads, you're going to want to expand your screen for both sides. Okay, you'll see Academic Plan, MyCap Builder. Now, this does not affect your actual PAWS report. This is just merely a planning component. So you'll see on the right-hand side, there are already some terms built, which for us, that doesn't matter. We want to look at spring 2021. To add a term, click the plus sign. We're going to click plus, and we're going to make this spring 2021. And we're going to click OK. And you'll see now it's been added to the bottom. Now over here on the left as we scroll, this really doesn't help us much. Click Expand All. It opens all of your categories. This mimics what we were just looking at on the PAWS report. So you'll see it shows the courses that are still needed. Let's pick some classes and plan for next semester. Let's say we need oral communication. I want to have this area done my first academic year, especially as a freshman. So I want to take COM. What you want to do is click your mouse, drag the class over to the term. You'll see the term will light up in blue, and then drop it, and it automatically adds it in there. On the right side, you'll see how many units you've planned, and if you want, you can delete it or edit it. This will allow you to edit. This will allow you to delete all of the classes in that term. What else goes great with COM? Maybe we should take English. We haven't yet had English. So let's drop English in there. We're going to take English 107A. Let's drop that in there. Processing. Now we're at 6 units. One more course from general education. Let's look and see. I really enjoy movies. COM 1020. Let's drop that in there. Oops, something went wrong. Because of the brackets, it doesn't let you drag and drop. So what you can do is you can actually manually load the class into that particular term. So as it refreshes, what's going to happen is it's going to recollapse the column on the left for all of the pause report. So what we're going to need to do is expand it back out. See, it's been collapsed. So we're going to expand all, and we're going to open this back up. So now you'll see the categories are there, and now you can see the courses are there. It maintained your classes though, it did not lose anything. So where was that class? COM 1020, add course. COMM, click COM, and then you can manually type in 1020. You'll see the class populates, looking at movies. Sounds interesting. So now I'm at 9 units. Now let's add some major classes. We're gonna go down here to the administration major. I'm thinking I wanna try IST 1110. IST 1110. Okay, adds the units. Remember, that's only a 1 unit class, so now I'm at 10. You wanna hover around 15 units. If you wanna graduate in 4 years or 2 years, you wanna take 15 units. Now, you can actually enroll up to 18, 6 classes without permission, 18 units. So consider that as well. The other course I wanna take is Econ. I wanna take some economics. Econ 2201. Now I'm at 13 units, so I want to be around 15, 16. So I'm going to take 1 more class in our major, in the administration major. And I'm interested in accounting because this is my concentration. So I'm going to add accounting 2110. Now you should be able to just drag and drop them into the term, but because these are in brackets, I'm not able to do so. So you'll see that for English and COM 1006, I was able to just drag and drop because there were no parentheses or brackets. Okay, so now I'm planned out for fall. I have 16 units and I'm ready to go ahead and close out. Now, if I wanted to go ahead and plan for fall, I could do that as well. Click plus, fall 2021, add that term, and maybe I'm considering summer. So I'm gonna put summer 2021 as well and click OK. And I could do the same thing. You could see they put them in order and I can drag and drop classes for summer and fall as well. I certainly recommend utilizing this MyCap. It keeps you in order. It allows you to see what you've planned. Plus, when you're meeting with an advisor, any advisor can see your plan as well. So you don't have to worry about writing it down or saving it in a Word doc somewhere. It's always in your MyCoyote. Now, what happens from here? Click the check mark. What it does is it checks your plan against your MyCap. Okay, so if you're really trying to plan out your next 2 years or your 4 years, you can click the check sign, the check mark as you go, and it'll accommodate all of the classes that you've already planned, letting you know what still remains. So when this refreshes, we'll go ahead and expand all. So remember, you always have to click expand all, and then expand all over here on the right-hand side. And you'll see some things have changed. On the left-hand side now, instead of being a red box, it says PL, and it's a purple planner. It says, you could hover over it, and it says complete with planned courses. So now you'll know what still remains as a deficient course. Okay, so the PL over here on the right means planned, and the PL on the left means planned. It tells you SP21, that means spring 2021, which you will see COM 1006 over here. Same thing for English. Then as we continue to scroll down, if we were to drag and drop some classes, let's say for summer, we wanted to take biology 1000. And let's say we wanted to take, oh, we only need the class, we don't need the lab. But then when we click the check again, this will go from a red box to a plan calendar as well. Utilizing the services of an academic advisor will help with planning your courses. But there is another way to also help plan your courses, and that's utilizing a roadmap. So let's look at this again, expand all, and expand all. And in scrolling down, you'll see again, Bio 1000 is now planned for summer. And if we look here, it's now over here as planned. Scrolling down into the major, you'll be able to see also that we've planned out accounting, econ, and IST 1110. Again, for you, each of you will see that the admin 1500 is already in progress, so that will display already on your pause report. Now, from here, you're saved, and what you can do is click back on My Cap. If you ever want to print this, now remember I'm here, but yours will be your preferred and starred, so you should only have one or two. This is just an example, so a lot of people use it for preparing plans. Now I clicked on the PDF version, and that shows you a PDF Adobe format of your plan. Some students like to print them and keep them as a hard copy, check them off as they go. But if you don't really need to print it, just keep it in your student center. So here, the very top of this shows completed courses. So this list will get longer as you go through coursework at CSUSB. Or if you've transferred in work, this will be long as well. Now, in looking at this, you'll see spring 2021, here it is. All of the classes that we prepared for spring and the one bio class for summer. So take advantage of this, utilize the My Cap. We just go back here, we can click on the X there and get rid of our, there we go, get rid of our My Cap. So it's always there and saved for you. You can go and update it again, an advisor can see it, and then it's very, very helpful in reviewing each semester. Now you ask yourself, how do I know what classes to group each semester? And that's a really great question. One of the ways to do that, and again, remember, this is going to be just for administration majors. Each major, though, should have a roadmap available. So if you're joining this class from another major, ensure you check with your advisor in your major to find the roadmaps or utilize the website. Administration has roadmaps located on the website. If you go to csusb.edu/JHBC, and I will also put this, this should also be in your module for you to click on. If you click on Student Success and Advising, you will see what will populate are degree requirement checklists and roadmaps. These are for current majors, 2020 and 2021. So any new student that's under the fall 2020 catalog can use these checklists and roadmaps to help guide themselves when scheduling classes. So what you do is you click on the BA Administration, all concentrations, and all the concentrations in administration are listed here. This is a simplistic format of the pause report that we just looked at. So hopefully this looks familiar. Foundations, disciplinary, there's your math, there's the oral communication, the 1006 that we planned, and then the bio lies in this area, and then it goes into your lower division core here, and then your concentration requirements here. Listed on the right, you will see in parentheses any prerequisites associated with those courses. So as we discussed at the lower division level, accounting 2110 is a prerequisite to get into 2120. So you'll want to make sure that you have that one first. Now, looking at this, you'll go scroll down just a little bit more and you'll be able to see the 4-year roadmap. So as a freshman, you can utilize this as a guide on what classes to take each semester and how to plan. These courses here can be drag and dropped into your My Cap plan. Now, if you've already had something, so for example, if you've already had Math 1301, then maybe take something from fall that you did not have. So for example, Admin 2100. You would just drop that one into your My Cap plan instead. For those of you that are juniors, you're going to want to start around year 3. That's junior status. This should give you an idea of what to take your first and second semester. Similarly, if there are classes in fall semester that you haven't had, then you're going to want to take them in spring, or vice versa. If you've had some classes here in the spring, you want to push them to fall. And that you took in the fall, in the spring. So just switch them around. So again, if let's say you're supposed to take management 3500 in spring, but yet you've enrolled in it here, you'll just take something else. Okay? So you can see here, this goes through every concentration. You can just page down. You can extract the pages and save it and utilize it as a means for planning each semester. So take advantage of this. Use all of these resources. And the other thing that I will say in closing is to ensure that you see an academic advisor. It's important to plan carefully. If you're registering in classes that don't meet requirements, you're going to stay here longer than you need to be. Once you register in classes, rerun your pause report. It's instantaneous. If there are any classes in electives, then most likely you do not need that class. Now, as an administration major, you will need a couple of what we call free electives, but you don't need more than 2 or 3. So it's okay to have something that's fun and free and doesn't count. But once you get more than 2 or 3 classes of electives, you're really starting to not make good use of your time. If I can answer any questions about advising, please send me an email or let me know how I can help. I will also place in the module the contact information for the JHBC Student Success Center. If you're an administration major, feel free to contact us for an appointment. In fact, if you're a new transfer student for fall 2020, you more than likely have an advising hold. So make sure you check your My Coyote for that as well. Thank you. I hope you have found this useful. Your assignment this week is to go ahead and start that MyCap and ensure you upload a piece of that to me so I can see what your spring semester classes look like. Thank you.